Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we are at Yale University in the US. Yale is among the Ivy League universities. These are the among the top universities in the country. I'll be looking at fully funded graduate opportunities at Yale. We'll be looking at them application fee waivers, English test waivers, and different kinds of standardized tests and how to get waivers for them, and then we'll be looking at the different funding opportunities at the university and the different courses. So it promises to be an interesting one today. So let's begin without any further delay. So, first piece of information I would like to share with you is that different universities, or rather different courses, might have different university requirements. So some courses would say GRE is optional, some courses would say it's needed or is required, and some would say it is recommended. So these are the different courses and the different requirements. So for some, you can see here not accepted, for some optional, and for some you might get required. So just check for your own course and see which one applies. So that is it for the GRE actually. So let's go to the application fees. So to send an application to Yale or for your application to be considered, you need to send as well an application fee of $105. However, there is good news. You can get waivers for this application fee. It's open for both international and domestic students. I mean, the waivers particularly open for both international and domestic students. So what you could do is just to scroll down and see the different ways of getting waivers. And then there are two major criteria on which this waiver is granted. Either participation in some special programs at the university, I'll show you the list of the programs very soon, or documented financial hardships. Yeah, you can send them like your bank statement or your pay slip or something to show that you do not earn enough money. So in that regard, you require like a tuition or rather a fee application fee waiver. So these are the programs. You could Google them to get more information about them. But if not, just appeal for the second condition, which is the financial hardship condition. So if you scroll down really to you see how to apply for the fee waiver. So you can see here documented financial hardships. You might need any kinds of letters, the different kinds of letters that you might need to prove your financial hardship. And here I'll just say a pay slip or a bank account statement might just be sufficient for this one. And then for you to apply, you have to submit this form, this waiver form, while you're applying for a master's or a PhD application. So you begin your application, submit this form before you submit your application. And it takes about, I think, 2, 3 working days, business days, for the application for a waiver to be considered. And then eventually, hopefully, you're granted one. So let's move to something else. Let's move to the English language test. So it is said here, by the way, this is the frequently asked questions section of the graduate page. So I've gone to standardized test and I'm checking for the IELTS, TOEFL waiver. IELTS and TOEFL are the, of course, the popular English test exams. So I'm asking here, or I'm looking for a response to the question here, whether the English test is waived or can be waived for certain people. And it is written here the TOEFL IELTS is required for almost all applicants whose native language is not English. There is one exception, and this exception is for those who did their undergrad, you can see here, at a university where English is the primary language of instruction. So you can see here, if you did your undergrad in the country or in a university where English is the major um, or the primary language of instruction, you can get a waiver. I think this would help lots of people who studied in the English language. And they said you should at least be in that country for at least 3 years, or have studied in that country for at least 3 years. You can get further guide here. There is a small chart here to describe who qualifies and who doesn't qualify for a waiver. So you can see here, was English your primary language? If yes, did you stay there for 3 years? If yes, you do not need to provide IELTS. But if English is not your primary language, you need IELTS. If you do not stay in that country for 3 years, you would need IELTS or TOEFL. And the same thing here. So you get the gist. So that is it for the English test waiver. So let's go to funding at this university. So for funding, this university has real generous funding, especially for PhD programs. So you can see here full tuition, close to $47,000, living stipend over $38,000. They said something here also about something as well as on the issue of health insurance and even family support as well. But if you look closely, there's more funding for PhD than for master's degree. Just look closer, you'd see that more funding for PhD than master's degree. And the good thing is that you can move straight from your bachelor's to a PhD. Since PhDs are better funded, why not apply for a PhD then instead of going through a master's where you're not sure of funding or where funding is limited? There's more funding here for the PhD, as you can see. So let's move on to the courses. So these are different courses, different universities, different courses in the university at Yale. So as we said in the beginning of this video, different universities or different courses at this university might require different application procedures, different documents to be submitted. So let's go to physics, for instance, and see what they need. So this is physics. As I said, you can move directly from undergrad to a postgraduate program or also a PhD program directly at most universities in the US. Let's go to prospective students. So here you can see different information about graduate studies, get further information there. This university also has like an online webinar to teach you how to apply, where you can ask questions and things like that. You can also go to the FAQ section and get more info about the application procedure, standardized test. For instance, the GRE. This department said it's optional, and the deadline is the 15th of December. So you can check here for other information that you might need. For funding as well, you can see full tuition, teaching fellowships. So there's full funding here as well. You don't have to worry about that. So go to your own department and check the application's requirements. Another thing, most departments require you to contact professors. So you go to people and see. But I often tell people before you contact professors, why not go through what they call it, the department head or the director of graduate studies, because for some departments they match you automatically with a professor whose interest aligns with yours, so you do not need to send an email. But for others, they want you to actively send. So if this is not clear on their website, I think you can send them an email. You can send this person an email and say, I wish to apply for this particular course. I've checked the course page and I think it aligns with my interest. I've also checked the different professors at this university, and you might mention names of those who you checked out. But I do not know whether I should send them a mail directly or whether you'll be matched automatically if you submit a competitive application in the first place. So these are the kinds of info you can get from the graduate director or even the registrar, and they might direct you and show you on what to do when it comes to that if the information is not already on the page. And of course, there are lots of guidance here on my YouTube channel already on how to prepare some of the documents you'll be needing to apply. For instance, things like CV, motivation letters, just come here. Letter of motivation, there are different samples here on how to compile a competitive letter of motivation, or how to write a CV, or how to contact a professor, an email to a professor. So you have all the materials you need actually on this YouTube channel. So just do your own due diligence to dig out the materials you need, and we'll be here to assist you when the time comes. If you ask particularly specific questions not already covered in the video, and questions that we can answer here based on our own knowledge and experiences, or better still, we just direct you to the department to ask the question instead. And that's it, guys. I hope this was useful. Funding, master's, PhD at Yale. Check for the department variations that we talked about. You can see that there are application fee waivers, as we've seen together. And we've seen the waiver for English language test if you studied in the English language and you stayed in that country for like 3 years. And we checked this chart together. Now we looked at the tuition and funding at this university, which is quite generous, I must say, and then the different courses as well. And check for your department, as I said, and we wish you good luck. As usual, we cannot wait to celebrate you. Get to work and start putting your documents together and apply before the deadline. And hopefully this time next year, you'll be in one of these universities studying on fully funded scholarships. And of course, there are several other opportunities here on this YouTube channel that you can take advantage of. So if you've not subscribed already, do so, because there are several materials already on the channel and many more to come. And as usual, I'll see you at the top sooner than later. Bye bye for now.